welcome to my presentation about games and simulations. It's Jen Fakua. Let's first go over an overview of games and simulations. Games and simulations can individualize learning to match the pace, interests, and capabilities of each particular student and contextualize learning in engaging virtual environments. Over the past decade, there has been a growing attention for the use of digital games in learning and instruction. Games are not just simply problems or puzzles. They are micro-worlds, and in such environments, students develop an understanding of a specific social process and how different bodies of knowledge relate to each other. Well-designed digital games resemble classic word problems, where students separate the data they need from a much more complex field of information and then apply it towards specific tasks in a gamified manner. Video games are those classic games that we might think of when we think of games in the classroom. And games still include action games, but they also include simulations, strategy, role-playing, sports, puzzles, and adventure games. Good video game design across these genres immerse users in a rich, interactive digital micro-world. Let's talk about GBL, or Games-Based Learning. Games-based learning has been widely recognized in research and has been shown to benefit learners. Games-based education embeds games into the subject matter so that students can interact with what they're learning. The same concept applies to simulations, where a virtual environment is used to teach certain skills. According to Buskirk 2019 and Arshavsky 2015, these are some of the benefits of game-based learning. Games-based learning is intellectually stimulating. It allows students to learn from their mistakes. It is student-paced. There are opportunities to engage at every corner. It is adaptable, which means that students can take what they're learning in the game and apply it to the real world. It provides feedback very quickly to allow them to learn from their mistakes, and it's actually very cost-effective. Here are some examples of 101 hottest tech tools of 2020. Let's talk about simulations now. Online simulations offer a somewhat risk-free environment, one where learners are free to experiment, make mistakes, and rethink and redesign without fear of destroying something that cannot be easily replenished in a traditional setting. Now, why would you use simulations? Well, there's many reasons, one of which is a lack of funding and resources. You could use simulations for dissections or taking students on a virtual field trip to somewhere that would be very costly. It's also a great chance for students to work in a realistic, learner-focused environment. Simulations are really big on group collaboration and give many opportunities for students to develop their 21st century learning skills. Here are some examples of some simulations you could use in your classroom. Now let's go to our digital escape rooms, which is where we're going to spend the rest of our presentation. Now let's talk about the origin of escape rooms. Digital escape rooms derive from the newly popular worldwide leisure activity. It is a live-action, team-based game where players discover clues, solve puzzles, and accomplish tasks in one or more rooms in order to fulfill a specific goal, which is usually escaping from the room, and they have a limited amount of time. So how could we use escape rooms in the classroom? Escape rooms have gained research and educational interest due to potential applications for mobilizing abilities such as team building, leadership, creative thinking, and communication. Escape rooms can be used as a teaching or learning resource for any subject area. They can be designed so that students assume the responsibility of solving the problems through exploration, formulation, and validation. It also facilitates building new knowledge by connecting to concepts they've already learned. In addition, escape rooms promote dialogue between students so that everyone is involved in solving the problem. Now I'm going to show you how to make an escape room and a real-life example of students performing in an escape room. I'd like to thank a former colleague of mine, Amanda Prasuto, for helping me to make this video.
So the first one, we're going to do it all digital. This is a haunted house road trip theme, so our October themed one. We use Google Forms. So first you would start with a banner, give them a little intro. The way we do this so that they have to put one response to get to another section is use the section button right there, so you can create a new section. That way, I also add different types of media. You can add media to a question, or you can go to just adding an image or a video directly onto the form. And then we really want, in order to make it that escape room feel, you need to have a response validation. And there you can choose between a number or words, make it equal to or contains, and then put in your, whether it's text or number with an error message. So if they don't get it, you could give them a clue there as well, which is really cool. And that's kind of how it is. I added a map on this one. So any type of media you want, you would create on something like PowerPoint or in Canva, and you can add it. And they really liked this one. The next one I'm going to show you is actually an easier way to do it. So this was actually a TBT product, and all I did was make it so it a little bit more engaging with lock boxes, and I put some resources or tip sheets in there that might help them get through it a little easier. So this again was all paper, but I decided to add the images and make it digital, solely for response validation. So I don't have kids asking me if this is right. They can check their work on the form. This is my class that you're viewing and you're watching. They are doing the number system escape room. They could use any of their resources, so you'll notice them looking through to look through it as well. They're all engaged, they're working. It was amazing, so they did a really good job.
Imagine if I got it right on the first time.
Open it! I get it. Yeah! We got our first one!
What was the other one? No.
Oh my gosh, look! You got it open! Okay, what did we pick? 7-Eleven, nice. You can each get one out of there and put your name on it. Which one do you want? That's the movie one, so you can grab it.
Hey! We do the movie one?
Yeah, we got the movie.
Yeah, let's do the movie 7-Eleven!
Yeah! Let's see if it works.
It's 3 against 1.
I'm gonna start lining up right here.
Where's the kid?
Come on, this good! It's fun because I like it.
No, it's fun because you get to compete with your friends.
Yeah, and you work together.
That they're fun and interactive.
I like the escape room because you can work with your friends and unlock locks. And that is the quick and simple way to engage students through escape rooms. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you try using them in your classes.
Some of the key takeaways from that video is that it's easy to make an escape room using something we probably already use in our classroom, Google Forms. It's also easy to embed media so that it's more accessible for our younger students. It's important to always display a timer to give that special escape room effect. Also, offering extrinsic incentives for escaping, as we saw in the video, is very successful. And always provide encouragement and praise. I hope you all learned a little bit more about digital escape rooms and games and simulations. Thanks for listening.